Welcome to Part C of this chapter on inventory management. So in Part B, we went through our basic economic order quantity model and our calculation using our case study. And we're going to continue with the economic order quantity model, except now we're going to take into consideration the fact that we could have quantity discounts. That is, our supplier will offer us a price incentive, a discount, if we purchase more. So that is the number 2 item in this slide here. Now, before we go and get started talking about quantity discounts, sometimes students have some difficulty in exams and also on homework assignments being able to distinguish when they have an economic order quantity problem and when they have an economic production quantity problem. The economic production quantity is the number 3 shown in this slide here. That will be the last thing that we cover. So I want to give you a couple of ways that you can distinguish between the two, or at least distinguish that you have an economic order quantity problem. There's 2 ways that you can distinguish that. One is to look at the verbs in the problem statement. So if the verb uses purchase or order or perhaps buy, all of those verbs are indicative of an economic order quantity, that we're ordering something from another company. Another way that you can distinguish an economic order quantity problem is if the problem statement states that there is an ordering cost. So an ordering cost only occurs in economic order quantity problems. So if you see either a verb such as purchase or buy, and you also see an ordering cost, then you know for sure that you have an economic order quantity problem. Now, how do you know whether you have an economic order quantity with no discounts or with discounts? Well, if you see on the problem statement certain quantity ranges and certain prices for that quantity range, then you have discounts. If you don't see that, then you don't have discounts, and you're going to use the basic economic order quantity. So let's get started here with our model for economic order quantity with quantity discounts. Now, we're going to have a different total cost formula when we have quantity discounts. And it is essentially the same as the basic economic order quantity formula. That is, the total cost is the sum of the carrying cost plus the ordering cost. But now we're going to add one more parameter on the end, one more calculation, and that is the purchasing cost. So if you take a look at the formula, the variable P represents the unit price, so the price per unit, and the variable D is the same as what we've had before, and that is going to represent the annual demand. So once again, the Q over 2 times H is the carrying cost. Q over 2 is the average inventory. And we're going to multiply the average inventory by the holding cost. D over Q represents the number of orders that we place each year. If we multiply that times the ordering cost, the cost per order, that gives us the annual ordering cost. So let's look forward to our case study. So again, we're dealing with the crust item for our pizzas in our ZZ's case study. So the supplier for crust has offered us some incentives if we buy in larger quantities, and these are the quantities and the price points for each one. So if we buy between 1 and 50 pounds, the price would be 80 cents per pound. If we buy between 50 and 100 pounds, the price goes down to 70 cents a pound. And then we have another price at 60 cents a pound for 101 to 150 pounds. and then anything over 150 pounds, the price is 50 cents per pound. So now the question is, what should be the optimum quantity to buy, or in other words, what is the economic order quantity for these different price points? So we have a procedure that we're going to follow to answer this question. And this is the first part of the procedure right here. So the first step is to calculate the economic order quantity using the standard formula. Now remember, the standard formula does not have the PD factor on the end. So you calculate the EOQ without that. Then you're going to compare that EOQ to the various price points and the minimum and the maximum. And then if that EOQ falls into the lowest price point, then that EOQ using the standard formula is also going to be the EOQ with the price discounts. So applying those three steps to our case, when we calculated the EOQ without the price discounts, we came up with a quantity of 82 pounds to buy. Well, the lowest price in our offer from our suppliers occurs whenever we buy more than 150 pounds. So 82 is less than 150 pounds. So since that is the case, 82 pounds is not the economic order quantity. So we go to the next step in the procedure. So if that is not that EOQ does not fall into the lowest price point, then what we have to do is to calculate the total cost for each of the various prices. And in the quantity variable in the formula, what we're going to do is we're going to enter into it the minimum quantity that you must buy for that particular price. The holding cost and the ordering cost is the same, and then in calculating the total cost, we're going to, for the price, we're going to have to use that particular price point in order to calculate the total cost for that price point. And then after we've calculated all of the total costs for each of the price points, we will take a look at each of them to see which is the lowest total cost. So let's apply this to our case study. So we're going to take a look at the price point for 70 cents. But before we do that, let's kind of review our variables here. So here's our formula for total cost with quantity discount. So we have the new factor price times annual demand on the back end. So in the quantity variable, we're going to insert the minimum quantity for that price point. And then for the P, we're going to use the price for that price point. Again, our annual demand is 1,000 pounds, and our holding cost is $1.20, and our ordering cost is $4 per order. So using these variables, we can calculate what the total cost would be for the 70 cents per pound price point. So the minimum quantity that we must buy in order to get the 70 cents is 51 pounds. So we're going to insert 51 for the variable Q. We're also going to insert the price point of 70 cents for the price, and this will calculate to be a total cost of $809. Now I want to call to your attention in the second row of this slide, if you take a look at the carrying cost and the ordering cost, and you will observe that these two numbers are not equal to each other. We tried to make the point previously that for the economic order quantity, these two numbers should be equal to each other or very close to each other. And in this example, you see that they are significantly different from each other. And the reason for that is because 51 pounds is not the economic order quantity. So whenever we see a case like this, we're obviously dealing with a quantity that is not the economic order quantity. So that only holds true, these being equal to each other, that only holds true for the true economic order quantity. Now, we can next calculate what the total cost would be for 60 cents a pound. And for this price point, the minimum quantity would be 101 pounds. So we're going to insert that for the variable Q. We will add at the end the 60 cents per pound. And the calculation here is $700.20. Again, we see that the ordering cost and the carrying cost are not equal to each other, again, because 101 pounds is not the economic order quantity. Now, we have another price point, the 50 cents per pound, and the minimum quantity for this price point is 151 pounds. So again, doing the same thing as we've done before, we're going to insert it in for the quantity, and we're going to add the 50 cents per pound at the back end. And that's going to give us a total cost of $617.09. So now we've calculated the total cost for each of the price points. So now we can take a look at each of the price points and the total cost for each. And we will observe that the lowest total cost occurs at the 50 cents per pound price point. And the minimum quantity that we must buy in order to get the 50 cents per pound price point is 101 pounds. Therefore, we will conclude that the economic order quantity that we should use, the quantity that we should order in order to get the lowest total cost in this price discount scenario is 101 pounds, because that will give us the lowest total cost. So this concludes part C of this chapter. Please continue to the next part.